Hi, hello there. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tabitha Gabrielle, and it is February 20th or something. 2026 has been a weird year for me, okay? So mentally, still in early January, okay? Like, just pretend you're seeing this video in early January instead of late February. Just as a disclaimer, I will be putting up graphics for each of these videos. Just as a disclaimer, I'm going to be putting up a graphic for each one of these books that I'm talking about as I'm talking about it, and it's going to have my full Goodreads review attached. In this video, I'm literally just giving you a 1, maybe 2 sentence summary for some of these books, just so you can have a general idea of what the vibes are. For each of these books, if you want to pause the video and kind of see my more in-depth thoughts and review, feel free to do that, because I'll put those Goodreads reviews up on the screen. I'm going to be looking over here to the side because that's where I've got my laptop. A few quick facts. I read 30 books in total in 2025, 6 of which were nonfiction memoir style books, and 19 of which were fantasy books. So I think I have a dominant genre. With all of that being said, without further ado, let's get into it. The first book that I read in 2025 was The Beekeeper, Rescuing the Stolen Women of Iraq by Dunya, Mikhail. This is a quiet, devastating nonfiction book highlighting several real accounts of loss, courage, and one man's insistence on hope amid the humanitarian horrors of Iraq. The second book that I read in 2025 was The Captive Kingdom by Jennifer A. Nielson. So this is the 4th book in a series. Things happen with Jaren and friends. His brother may or may not be dead, but you did not hear that from me, okay? You didn't hear that from me. Also, there are ships. It was a great adventure. The third book that I read was The Shattered Castle by Jennifer A. Nielson. The 5th and final book in a series, wonderful series by the way. Basically, Jaren survives the emotional roller coasters of being engaged while his secrets explode and send the entire kingdom into unhinged chaos. It's a whole thing. The 4th book is The Phoenix King by Aparna Verma, and again, think I'm saying that name right. Basically, Princess Alina can't control her fire magic or the politics that thrive in her country. Her bodyguard's weapon of choice is hair. Politics, prophecy, and chaos reign. The 5th book is Far from the Mighting Crowd. The 5th book is Far from the Madding Crowd by Thomas Hardy. When I think of this book, I think of it as an 1860s soap opera classic drama. In my opinion, Bathsheba is a word I refuse to say, but just think of Santa's signature phrase. I did not like Bathsheba as a character, okay? Did not. Gabriel, though,
deserved better.
The 6th book is The House of My Mother, A Daughter's Quest for Freedom by Shari Franke. So Shari Franke is the eldest daughter in a family vlogger channel that I actually used to watch as a younger teenager. This is her story, a very courageous story about seeking freedom and identity in a very controlling family. She challenges both her upbringing and the public spectacle of family vlogging, and it changed my perspective entirely on the whole dynamic of family vlogging. The 7th book is Nightshade by Autumn Woods. Amazing author, pen name, by the way. Like, if that's her real name, none of us can compare. Basically, our main character, Ophelia Winters, almost gets flattened by a car on day 1 of her moody, slightly sketchy Scottish university. She meets the son of her parents' murderer and ends up falling in love with him. Yeah. And people die under mysterious circumstances. So, yeah. It was a ride. Number 8 is Of Song and Darkness by Jessica Spruill. I feel like I'm not saying that last name right, but Spruill. It's how it's spelled, okay? I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. When I think of this book, I think of mermaids, sirens, Poseidon, sharks, and the man love interest character who is described as having meaty hands. And that's like the only thing about him that I can remember. The main character is a siren, and like I said, yeah, Poseidon is mentioned, and Medusa, if I remember right. But like the phrase meaty hands is what stands out to me, and I will never be the same. Book number 9 is Dear America, Notes of an Undocumented Citizen by Jose Antonio Vargas. I thought that this was a necessary, thought-provoking memoir. It sheds a lot of light onto the struggles and the humanity of undocumented Americans and people who are trying to become American citizens. Book number 10 is Where the Dark Stands Still by A.B. Poranek. Poranek. Right? I'm sure I'm saying that one wrong. In this book, a girl with undiscovered magical powers gets lost in a cursed woods and is saved by a human deer man who is later revealed to actually be a demon. Yeah. And then they fall in love. Yeah. It's very folky and whimsical and atmospheric in the writing style, but also really weird in the plot. Like, I need these vibes, but let's make the main character fall in love with like a normal being next time. Yeah, let's drop the demon thing. We're not gonna be falling in love with them. We're not doing that. Book number 11 is Of Fire and Ash by Gillian Bronte Adams. So this book is insane. Like the world building and the whole politics system of the different kingdoms in this book, insane. Okay, there's magical horses, some of which have the ability to breathe fire like dragons. Like I said, insane politics, epic fantasy. At number 12, we have The Ragpicker King by Cassandra Clare. This is the second book following the book Swordcatcher, which I read in 2024. This book, The Ragpicker King, makes me feel super dumb because there's so much going on all at the same time, and some of it loops back to what happened in the first book, some of which I forgot already. So yeah, you need like basically a notebook to keep up with all the various plot lines that are going on. It's very intricate, the politics, relationships, nothing but dramatic. Number 13 is The Forest King's Daughter by Elly Blake. 2 rival people groups go to war over a hand accessory. Number 14 is The God of the Garden, Thoughts on Creation, Culture, and Kingdom by Andrew Peterson. This book made me think more deeply about this world that God created for us. It helped me have a better appreciation for the beauty and design of all things in nature. I very much feel like Andrew Peterson is someone like J.R.R. Tolkien who could literally talk about the intricacies of a blade of grass, but at the same time, like, I love the passion with which he writes about his love for nature. Number 15 is I Am Restored, How I Lost My Religion But Found My Faith by Lecrae. I feel like this is a very important perspective on Christianity and what it means to be a true believer in Christ. This is great if you feel like you're going through a season of deconstruction and reconstruction. Number 16 is A Natural History of Dragons by Marie Brennan. This is what I can only describe as a fantastical Victorian world in which a brilliant woman dragon scientist, sets out to make groundbreaking discoveries about dragons, which exist in her world. I love the main character of this book. Number 17 is We Do Talk About It, Breaking the Silence on Sex, Shame, and Redemption by Heather Lawless. This was a very important nonfiction book and probably the most important nonfiction book that I read in 2025. It was raw, honest, and unflinchingly transparent when tackling topics of sex, shame, purity, culture, and redemption from a Christian biblical worldview. Number 18 is A Realm of Rebels by Tania Ibrahim. Little sister vanishes after a rushed marriage. There's a kingdom in chaos, mysterious threat rising, and the love interest is a cinnamon roll. It was really good, but massive cliffhanger. Just warning you. Number 19 is The Tropic of Serpents by Marie Brennan. Our Victorian dragon scientist faces treacherous swamps and warring tribes, continuing her daring quest for dragon knowledge in this book. Number 20 is Falling Like Leaves by Misty Wilson. A driven Manhattan high schooler moves to her mom's rural hometown and discovers the simple joys of autumn, including the charming boy that works at the local cat cafe, because of course he does. Number 21 is Of Sea and Smoke by Gillian Bronte Adams. This is the second book in a series, and my brain can't even comprehend how to talk about this book other than look at the cover, number one, and number two, like, the magical horse saga continues. It's wild. Number 22 is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. This is an Alice in Wonderland style story where nothing really makes sense until it does, and that'll make sense when it does. It has a weird, slightly unsettling dreamlike carnival vibe, and I'll be honest, I loved it. Book number 23, however, is Legendary by Stephanie Garber. Yeah, so in this book, everything that I liked about the first one is ruined. Donatella is a manipulative menace and probably is the most dislikable female protagonist I've ever read about, and her mom is trapped in magical, bizarre playing cards, and Scarlet flits around like an insignificant extra in this book, so didn't like it. Number 24, Finale by Stephanie Garber. Also the finale of my sanity during this season of life. I barely remembered the plot because I was too busy being annoyed at Donatella in this freak show fever dream of a book. I hereby nominate myself as president of the Donatella Hate Club. Who's with me? I need a vice president. 25 is If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. After her mom dies and her messy ex-husband divorces her, Michelle leaves her corporate life behind to run her mother's small town inn. And she just so happens to also fall in love with the town and the single dad next door baker guy, Cliff. See my Goodreads review on this one for sure before reading it because, wow, on the content, okay? Number 26 is The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle L. Jensen. In this book, an assassin princess drugs her sisters, marries a rival king to steal his secrets and destroy his kingdom, and then falls in love with him. Rookie assassin mistake, I say. Number 27 is Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. If you haven't heard of this new Hunger Games book, you must be living under a rock. Haymitch has terrible trauma as a young person, and he's now my favorite character in this whole entire franchise. I love Haymitch and this book, and it was my top read of 2025. 28. Silent Heist by Jenessa Fayeth. This is a Home Alone inspired rom-com where a thief breaks into a penthouse to steal a pricey painting, only to be intercepted by a rich 8-year-old and her nanny, and the nanny just happens to be his ex-girlfriend. So, awkward. They're stuck together during a blizzard. Number 29 is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling. Basically, in this book, a neglected 11-year-old whose only defense in life is sarcasm gets a letter from an owl, discovers he's a wizard, and finally escapes the nightmare of living with his aunt and uncle, who are literally terrible. Number 30, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets by J.K. Rowling. Aforementioned victim of neglect turns 12, gets an invisibility cloak, builds loyal friendships, and survives a dark wizard attack thanks to magic, friends, and his unrelenting sarcasm. The full cast audiobook of the Harry Potter books is so good. You guys do not understand how excited I am to have finally completed filming this video today. Because guess what? I did try to film it on 3 different occasions back in January. I feel like I've really achieved something today, and I needed that win in my life, so I'm taking it as a win. I wish all of you a happy 2026, even though we're already 2 months into the year. You know, there's still 10 months. Happy 2026. I wish you all an amazing rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, or whatever other time of day it is that you're watching this. Thank you so much, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.